Hello, I'm Jordan. I'm the guitarist for We Brought the Rain,
And this is Jessica, the singer and songwriter, lyrically.
and you're watching Michael's Untitled Music Show.
Welcome to Mikey's Untitled Music Show, guys. Today, we're going to go ahead and try to dive into the musical minds of We Brought the Rain. We got Jessica and Jordan. Say hi, guys.
Hey.
Hello.
Jessica and Jordan are going to go ahead and help me, and we're going to talk to them about their musical journey, about their creativity, and it's going to be a good time. Jordan and Jessica, or Jordan, how did We Brought the Rain begin?
Yeah, so We Brought the Rain started basically with us two. We've been making music together for most of our lives since we were pretty young. We used to be part of a different band when I was still in high school.
The OGs know some of the old stands from their career number, and they're like, we were the first.
Yeah. Yeah, we've just always been writing music together. After that band broke up, there was a period of time where I was doing mostly electronic music. I was doing a lot of dubstep and DJing, that kind of thing.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and then we just started writing music together again, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
Jessica, do you remember one of the first times you remember being creative with your music, like using your own musical creativity with maybe like some lyrics, or even the first time you started singing, something like, what was the first time you actually started using your creativity
I
with
was
music?
like a little kid, and I probably wasn't very good at the time. I think I was 8 or something. And I remember writing lyrics even then, and they're probably terrible because I don't remember them, but I was always writing. That's always something that I've noticed in my life I fall back on. Is just writing all the time. And even then I was writing stories, I was writing songs. Even when I didn't play an instrument yet, I was trying to play an instrument, and my parents got so fed up that they were like, let's just get her lessons because we can't take you. And then I entered a contest when I think I was 11 or 12. And I wrote a really experimental song, and it did not click with the people, and so I did not win anything. They were like, we have questions about this because it was darker. Like the overall theme of the music there was like very like easy listening, nice, happy stuff. I wrote like this super dark, like gloomy songs with me and a piano, and they were just like, and I was like wearing all black, and they were like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, why? And I hadn't slept, so I had like probably bags under my eyes. I just like looked crazy. So
What was the first instrument you picked up?
it was piano.
Yeah, I know. And what about you, Jordan? What was that first instrument that you picked up?
The first instrument that I picked up that I was actually serious about wanting to play was the bass guitar.
Oh, nice. My cousin's a big well, he used to be a bassist. He had like he was double jointed in his fingers. So he had like he can bend his fingers like all the way
Oh,
back.
wow.
Like so like how this would be, but this was like all the way back. Like so that was like that. Like
That reminds me. Have you ever seen Tosin Abasi play guitar?
no, I haven't.
He's the guitarist for Animals as Leaders. I can't do it, but whenever he's using his thumb, he can bend his thumb at like a 90-degree angle, and it looks really freaky.
Yeah, we saw him live, and I felt like a child. Like my eyes were glazed over, and I was like, wow.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, the one that had me like that is System of a Down. I had watched them in like the first time I watched them, it was at an aftershock in Sacramento, but we were kind of far in the crowd. But we did like my wife and I, we did a road trip from Sacramento to Vegas, and then we came back and watched them again in San Diego, where we're from. But at that show, we were actually on the floor. So I was like, oh my God. They're my favorite band. So it was like it was super exciting and super like we'd never really gone on the floor like again for like one of those types of shows. That was like the one where I had to be there, you know. I had to be there for sure.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
what was the like I'm sorry, Jordan, you said that you guys were in a band before. What band were you in before and what happened with that one? Why didn't you keep going with that band?
I started that band, but we were like very much children. I started it technically when I was 15, and I just like, oh, I feel like this is a theme in my life, but I just told these people, I'm like, hey, do you guys want to be in a band? And they were like, yeah.
She didn't ask me. She told me that I was gonna be in the band or else.
Like, yeah. And I was like, well, you're joining mine. And they were like, okay, but they didn't show up to anything. So then they just kind of like did their own thing. And I was like, okay, we gotta find some serious people. We did a lot of stuff. It was like, I think for close to 10 years of our childhood, I guess you could say, of like playing lots of shows. What's funny about that band is we didn't have a lot of new material. We just kept playing shows, and that's all we did. So we have like 10 years worth of shows. And looking back, I think it's so funny because I'm like, why why didn't we like make music? We just like kept singing the same 8 songs in rotation.
Yeah, that band was actually called Seraphica, and it's true. We made like 10 songs,
Yeah.
and then those were the only we maybe performed like 6 of those,
Yeah.
and then those were the only ones we
We
performed
had like
ever.
different bands that would like one guy he just like came to every show. Or actually, a few guys would come to every show, and like this one guy was kind of weird, and he's like, "They're my friends," and we're like, "Oh, okay." Like they were
That's where your
thought
friend.
like yeah, we were like this weird local band that wasn't super popular, but we were hugely popular with like the 10 people that were like, wow.
Hey, but you guys have all these years though of stage like presence and stage like stage hours. So I mean that's a big not a lot of people have that, right? Like they probably been making music for 10 years and you know releasing their songs, but they don't really have that much actual experience on the stage, right? Like what was the first time what was it like the first time you got up on stage and you're actually playing your first songs?
We actually have it on video.
Oh,
Hey.
uh, it's on VHS actually. That's how old.
We gotta find one of those.
It was bad.
I was like 12 years old, and I borrowed her pants, her ripped black skinny jeans, and she put eyeliner on me, and I had a little black bandana, and I hadn't hit puberty yet, so I went up on stage and I was like, "Are you guys ready to hear some metal?"
That's exactly what happened. And your voice was still cracking, and between he was screaming back then too. And between every song, he was like, "Mom, can you get me some water?" And then you were like, "Let's open this pit up."
Guys, let's open this pit.
Yeah, and people loved it though. There's like these burly biker guys that were like, "Yeah, this kid's annoying."
That's funny. That's funny because yeah, my two brothers, they're older now, but they first started a band back when they were like one of my brothers was literally like 9 years old and the other one was maybe like 13 or so. But my younger brother, he's a really good drummer. He does EDM now. He does like house music and stuff like that. Um, and they were like a super like metal band, like crazy super metal. And it's just funny how they went like one is an EDM artist and one is now like he's at the University of Michigan playing classical music and like his it's a different kind of music that he does, but it's funny how we kind of like go our different ways. How was We Brought the Rain? How did that name come up?
I just kind well, okay, so we moved across country, Um, and it was a pretty crazy move because there was a bunch of storms happening, literal storms, and me and my husband were driving, and we could literally see a storm behind us, like a hurricane thing behind us, and we were here. So it was pretty intense, and we had stopped at rest stops, but then it would catch up to us. So like, we moved to like an area where it's like super warm and doesn't rain that much. And so then when we got there, it started pouring. And the Beverly kept being like, "We brought the rain, or you guys brought the rain with you." And so I kind of chuckled and I was like, that would make a really good band.
That's us. How
He was like, let's like start a band again. And so I was like, I have the name.
Was it your idea to start up the band again? And if it was, like, what made you want to start that?
So I don't actually remember that part that well. I remember,
Trauma block.
I do remember that our first single that we released, The Dive, we actually started working on that before we moved. So we moved to North Carolina, and her husband were living in Springfield at the time, Springfield, Oregon, and I was in their apartment, and she showed me the song, basically like the rough version of the song, and I think I had my guitar with me, and I started like playing a guitar part for it, and we started working on that. And I don't think that was the moment where we decided, oh, let's start another band. But we were like, hey, like this song is really cool. We should do something with it. And then we were working on it more after we moved over to North Carolina. And I don't remember if we finished the song first or if we got mostly finished. But at some point during the writing process for that song, we were like, hey, we should do this again.
I didn't want to be in a band. I was like all depressed and I was like, music is dead. And he was like, well, we should just see where this goes. Like, we should finish the song at least. And I was like, well, yeah, okay, we'll finish the song. And then we just kept making music and we just didn't stop.
And was that the Dive? Was that your first one?
Yeah.
Okay. And how did that song come about? Like, you just had a riff on the guitar, and or you just already had the music, or was it, yeah, like, did you had the music already for that?
I wrote the lyrics for our previous band, but it just never like clicked. It never like took off. Nobody seemed interested in it, so I just kind of like shelved it, and I was like, well, maybe I'll finish it one day. And he really connected with the song. Sorry, I'm still sick, so I'm like I'm like trying not to cough.
It's okay. I was just finished being sick. Me, my family, it's going around. It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how a lot of our songs come about. She usually has lyrics and some kind of vague idea of a melody, and then we kind of build the song around that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was gonna ask, actually. So after The Dive, the other song that I saw before your new album, Currents, was Atmosphere. But did you guys put that song also in the album?
No.
Okay. But yeah, I saw Atmosphere, and then I saw Currents and The Dive. Those were the first songs that I heard from you guys, but I did see that you guys added Currents again and The Dive into your new album. So after The Dive was all done and you guys are finally a band, that next song, Atmosphere, what was the thought process going into that one?
We actually did Through the Storm next, but the Atmosphere, I feel like, was an experiment.
Yeah.
You can tell about this one.
Yeah, so Atmosphere was basically just us wanting to experiment and add different elements, like different kind of styles that we didn't work with before in our older band.
Mhm.
And I don't want to say too much because I don't want to tease too much, but that is something that we're looking into expanding on more in the future. I'll just say that.
What are we?
On dates and stuff.
And then so after that one, so I saw like you had the first three singles, and then you had or the singles, and then you have your album now that came out this last year, 2024. Um, what was that like? Like you guys came together and said, okay, we need to make an album or an EP or something like that, or did it just you guys just had a few songs and you thought, let's put them all together and make them an album?
So it's actually a concept album. I don't know if we'll do this again because it was a lot of work. Um, but like each song tells a story, and it's all like a cohesive story of like kind of like this world of like this like sea monster, and like it represents like whatever bad thing that you're trying to fight against in your life. And each song is like going through like the emotions or whatever about that.
Is there a particular song that you guys hold kind of dear with this album?
It's probably different for each of us, but I feel like Lost at Sea is like one I really connect with.
For me, it's Tempest.
Hmm. Yeah.
I yeah, I really resonate with the lyrics of that one, and it also has one of my favorite musical moments in the whole album. The breakdown where it does just the guitar and then it gets a little bit heavier when the screams come in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love you guys' sound. Like it's like everybody I love everybody's individual sound. I love how that they can come up with their style, and you can definitely hear like your style. It's kind of funny that like I see in your Instagram posts and stuff, you're kind of like if you guys don't know, if you guys want to like music that you don't know if you like or not or something like that, you know. I love that, you know. Like, I love it because like it's a little it's a bit different, but it's your guys' style, and I love the sound, honestly. Like I
Are you
I,
talking about the video where I was talking about having a low voice?
I think yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I get
Uh,
compared to a man all the time, so I just decided to roll with it. I was like, hey, if you like man voices, come over here.
I used to work at a warehouse, and after our shift, I was talking to one of my coworkers who I was like pretty cool with, and I showed him Through the Storm when it was like still just a single,
mm.
and he was like, "Oh wow," he's like, that dude, your vocalist, he has a very interesting voice."
Yeah, you'd be surprised how often it happens. The first time it happened, I was like, oh, okay. But it's happened a lot, like a lot.
It's crazy though because I can't hear that. For me, it kind of it sounds like Evanescence, like the voice. You know what I mean? I guess I grew up with that, like with her voice, so it kind of just like no, it sounds it kind I can hear it. I can't hear that at all.
Yeah.
But
And
that does
technically, like, I cross into like the baritone territory, and I think that confuses people.
okay. It just shows your range. She has range, guys.
I have
Okay.
a man voice, okay?
Jordan, who's one of the or is there like a certain like maybe album or artist genre that you listened to when you were younger and you kind of like, you know, damn, this is what I want to pursue now. Was there any kind of moment like that, or was it just kind of like I need to do music like my whole life kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, basically just a bunch of earlier on in my childhood, it was a lot of thrash metal.
Yeah, it was so annoying.
She actually is the person who got me into metal, because when I didn't know any better when I was like 5, I only listened to like the Backstreet Boys
Yeah,
and stuff like that. And then she was like listening to this music over here that was like fire from the sky. I was like, hey, that's cool. So yeah, I mean, listened to, I don't know if you know Living Sacrifice, that band.
No, I'm not sure. I probably heard a song or so, but honestly, there's so much music out there and so many bands that I've listened to, or I just have like songs up here. You know what I mean? I never really went and like listened to the albums. You know, it was kind of like top 40 or like the alternative music show. I don't know if you ever watched Steven's Untitled Rock show like back in the day. It was on Fuse. Um, so that's kind of where I got my name, actually, like Mikey's Untitled Music Show, because I used to watch that show all the time, and it was like either metal or it turned into just like the pop punk and emo bands of the time, also, like around that time. But yeah, I had like singles in my head all the time and albums in my head all the time. There was maybe like 10 albums that I listened to my whole life up until I was like 18 or something, you know. But yeah, what kind of music is that?
Living Sacrifice was like mostly thrash metal. My biggest inspiration now is prog metal bands like Periphery. They're my favorite band right now, and they're where I get most of my inspiration for my guitar parts.
You know what I realized? I got you into them too.
She did.
I went to
Actually,
their concert and he was like, they seem dumb. And I was like, what is wrong with you? I was like, they're great. And like, but live they were not great. But yeah.
the first time I heard their name, I didn't even know that periphery was a real word. I was like, what's perif? She was like, what?
Yeah, so that's a joke now. I'm like, it's rib.
That's awesome. You guys, or what about you, Jessica? Is there a certain band or genre that kind of, solidified, I need to make music when I get older?
So like what's annoying is I find these bands and I find them when no one knows who they are and I'm so excited about that. But then they get famous and then everybody's like, "Oh, have you heard of them?" And I'm like, "Yes, I was listening to them when they were like in their infant stages." And then I'm annoyed and then I don't want to listen to them anymore. So for me, that's happened to a Sleep Token, which everybody knows Sleep Token. And I even like showed him them and he was like, "They seem dumb." And I was like, "Jordan, they're gonna be huge." And he was like, "No, they're not. They're just weird."
Vessel, if you happen to be watching this, I love you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a problem of mine. I'm like, maybe I'm in like the wrong profession. Maybe I need to be those people that are talent scouts and they find like the next big thing. Like maybe that's what I need to be doing with my life.
Hey, I mean, that's kind of like what I'm doing right now. Like
Yeah.
I'm just finding like a bunch of music that I like to listen or that I like to hear, listen to, or I think is really good. And I'm like, that's cool. I want to share it. Yeah. And then I want to talk to you guys. It's always been I've always been into like documentaries and um especially music documentaries behind the music. The Diary, I don't know if you guys remember Diary on MTV. I used to love that
No,
shit.
we were like so sheltered. We weren't allowed to do anything.
Oh, tell me about it. We didn't get like cable until, yeah, maybe I was like 11 or 12 or something like that. So it was kind of like the same, but
You had cable?
cable, you guys never had cable? Dude. Dude, I remember when we got cable. We had the little box thing and I was like, "Oh my God, watch Nickelodeons." And all those different ones, no more antenna. Oh, the
Four
antenna.
siblings. Apparently, one of us, I don't remember who, but one of us started dramatically crying and was like, "I'm gonna die without Nickelodeon."
I think that was me.
Yeah, it was when we were going camping or something. He was like, "Wait, no Nickelodeon?"
Where's my Doug? Where's my Rugrats? Like, what do you mean no Nickelodeon? SpongeBob. Oh, bro, I love SpongeBob. SpongeBob's the greatest. One of the best opening theme songs in all of TV, definitely. Um, so when you guys like when you guys start writing your music, or like you said that you kind of have lyrics, you kind of have a melody. Do you guys keep like are you guys in charge of a certain thing? Like, Jessica's always gonna bring the lyrics and Jordan's always gonna, kind of like just kind of piggyback off of that, or is there the different styles?
I wouldn't say it's like a harsh, like always in charge of something. I have like like probably hundreds of lyrics just there in my phone. So I'm always like, here's this, like, but it's not like it's like set to where we have to do a certain thing.
Hmm. And Jordan, have you written any of the lyrics for like this for this last album or anything before?
I haven't written any lyrics that are on the album. I have,
He's had like suggestions, like
yeah,
say this word instead of this word.
yeah, I have. There have been times where I've sat down and I've written lyrics for, like, I've had ideas for songs and I've written lyrics, and maybe we'll do something with those. Maybe we won't. I don't know. But yeah, usually I don't write lyrics very often just because it's just not something that I usually want to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Usually I just noodle around on the guitar.
And with the story of that guitar solo, I like hummed something at him and I was like, you should play this. And he was like, I can't play that. And then now it's in there. So
That's awesome. Do you guys have other band members, or is it just you two for right now?
It's just us two right now.
And are you guys trying to get other band members, or are you just trying to stay as a two-piece? Because I mean, you guys sound great as it is right now. But is that anything that you guys have thought about?
It's something I definitely like the idea of expanding at some point in the future. I'm not really in a rush to find any new members right away. I think that whoever comes in, I think it's important that, they have the same mentality as we do and they want to put as much into it as we're putting into it. I think that it would be nice to eventually play shows,
yeah.
even if they're just local shows. So we would definitely need members to do that.
Yeah, I feel the same.
And what was it? Have you guys not played a show in a while?
No.
We've mostly been just focusing on writing music and releasing it, that kind of stuff.
And so
My job was like playing shows live basically. It wasn't shows, but like I was doing live music like every week. But and he would do it with me sometimes.
yeah, I was gonna ask, so I have a sister. She's about a year and a half younger than me. We grew up together, freaking fighting all the time, um and we never really, like. Of course, we love each other, and if I need anything, I can go to her, and I know she can. If she can, she will, But as like siblings and like, do you think it's harder to work together when you guys are like in a like when you guys don't agree on something, or do you think it's easier because it's like, no, like we're just gonna do it kind of thing? Like how has that maybe either brought a negative light to you guys making music, or positive, either one?
I think that it's brought its set of challenges, especially earlier on in this band, with it just being the two of us. But through the course of working on this album and producing it and getting it ready for everybody to hear it, we've really learned a lot throughout the process, and we've learned how to bounce ideas off of each other in ways that, doesn't bring the other person down, or like we've learned to collaborate when it's just us two really well.
Yeah, I think in the beginning we used to be really bad at working together and that caused a lot of like friction, but then it just kind of clicked. I don't even know when or how, but we just kind of figured it out and we were like, oh, okay, this works now.
Yeah, and it's funny because like me and my sister would like fight all the time, and there was just one day where I was kind of like, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of fighting all the time. Like shit. Like I remember I remember like vividly that conversation. Also, it was like over the phone, and I forgot what we were even fighting about, and it would just always go to like a fight. You know what I mean? But then finally, I was like, I'm sick of it. I can't do it anymore. Like you,
I can't
we're all, yeah, I can't live like this. We're always fighting and stuff. So since then, it's been a lot better. Like this was like 10 years ago. Like it was a while back.
Yeah.
But it's nice. It's nice to find to not finally, but to find that, common ground and finally like be like we're good, we all we need is each other kind of thing, but we're good. We're good. Just us how we are right now.
Yeah, we
But
used to
that's
hate each other.
Oh yeah, when we were younger.
oh yeah, my sister and I too. I was the older one, so she was always I was the older one, but we were always like the same height. You know what I mean? So she was always like, "Nah, we're the same. You're not older than me. And we're the same. Whatever, blah blah blah. We're like the same age." And so we would just always butt heads all the time because she just always wanted to be like have a one up on me. But that's just her like competitive spirit. You know now that we're older, I understand that. Um, but yeah, like all you need is family, bro. I
Yeah.
I need is
The songwriting goes, I think it's important to remember like that we're both here to make good music.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter if like if there's an idea and one of us says yes, one of us says no, like it has to be a no because it has to be something that we
To agree.
both enjoy.
And even we were writing just a few days ago, and I had a melody I thought was like the best that it could be. And he was like, I just not feeling it. And so we kept trying and I kept changing things. And then I changed it and I was like, actually, this is way better. And he agreed too. So that's the melody.
yeah, that's amazing. Like you guys found your like the way you do business, right? Like
Yeah.
that's really
That's
awesome.
really what it is. Like we just have to agree on whatever it is. And we keep trying until we find something that we're both in agreement with.
That's beautiful. That's great. Um, so one of the last questions I like asking, not the last one, but um, like we'll start with you, Jessica. How has or what's been like the purpose of music in your life?
You mean just like in general?
Just like in general.
Um, Music has like brought a lot of healing in my life. It's kind of like the way I connect with the world. Like without it, I just everything feels empty. And it's like me at my core, I think, is music. So it's pretty like a pretty epic answer.
No, I mean, I have music in my mind like all the time. Like if I'm not talking or if I'm not, if I'm not thinking about something, it's funny. Like I can listen to music in my head much longer and yeah, like much longer than, I can have a thought in my head just because if there's something like empty up there, like I don't like it being empty, you know what I mean? So I got to listen to
Yeah.
something. So I I understand what you mean. And Jordan, what about for you?
I'm sorry, what was the question again?
No, like what's pretty much what's the ultimate purpose that music has had like in your life?
In my life? Oh man. Well, to me, music doesn't really feel like something that really serves a specific purpose for me. It just feels like a necessity. Like when I meet people who are very much not interested in music, like there's a part of my brain that understands that not everybody is into the same thing, but there's also a part of me that's like, how do you how are you not into music? Like
Breathing.
yeah, it's just like I've been doing it most of my life since I was like 10 to some capacity. And it just feels like an extension of me.
Mm. Oh yeah, I definitely understand. Um,
My husband said it the other day, and I didn't realize that I do this, but apparently, when I write or when I go through something, I put everything into a song in the most raw form, and then I just get rid of it, like whatever it is, any of that like emotional baggage, it's just gone, and it literally does not bother me ever again. And I didn't notice that I do this. And then my husband pointed it out and he's like, it's like this weird like superpower thing. You just put it all the ugly stuff in the song and then it's just gone.
Yeah, it's kind of like you say it out loud and you feel better kind of thing, right? Definitely. Um, that's no, that's amazing. Like it's another way to cope, right? It's another way to cope with like the bad or like what if you're feeling bad or if you're feeling sad, something like that. It's good that you're able to have that outlet. Everybody needs something like that. Um, like when I was younger, if I was super mad, uh at like my parents or something that was going on or like so we had like a little maybe not a fight but like a disagreement or something like that, I would go in my room and lock the door and turn up the music. Kind of like I don't there's this Family Guy skit or this little skit where they go in there and he closes the door and it's a Jimi Hendrix song like he's blasting or whatever because he had a he got in a fight with his parents. But that was like my way of coping with things. Just put on a song and just forget about it because you just lose yourself in that song. It's it's amazing. It's amazing what music can do. How music can make you feel.
That reminds me of School of Rock, where he's like, I didn't get no allowance today, so I am really ticked off.
So I am really ticked off.
Yeah, that was you as a kid.
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. I love that movie too. That was a great movie. I wanted to be that kid with playing the drums. I forgot his name, but I wanted to be that kid. Um, but the last question I like to ask, I don't know if you guys have spoken about this before or or if you can answer individually if you'd like. What is We Brought the Rains or Jessica or Jordan, your message to the world?
You want me to do it?
Go for it.
Um, there's a lot of stuff in the world and it sucks. And so the goal, whenever I'm writing lyrics at least, is to like do something that's gonna make a difference, some kind of positive change. And it doesn't have to be one certain thing, like it can be anything. And I think that's the cool thing about music. Like people can hear a song and like 10 different people can hear it and get 10 different meanings, and neither one is incorrect. So I feel like just that's the goal, is to make music that makes people think, that makes them feel something, makes them feel alive, helps them in some way. Because it's therapy for me, quite literally. And so like I want to do the same for other people and have that connection. So yeah.
That's beautiful. Well, Jordan, Jessica from We Brought the Rain, thank you so much for coming on the show with me. I really appreciate it. You guys are following me in my new musical journey as well. Um, and I would love to do this again. I would definitely love to do this again. We can do it again. We could talk about something different, maybe talk about an album or something like that. Anything. I really love to speak to musicians and just artists in general because I always have a curiosity of what's going on in there. Like how did they get their sound? That's pretty much like my biggest question. Like how did you guys get your sound? So thank you so much for sharing with us. I really appreciate it. Where can we find We Brought the Rain music?
You can find We Brought the Rains music on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, anywhere you can stream music, basically. We're on there.
Perfect. And do you guys have anything in the works?
It's not concrete, but we're just writing right
Yeah.
now.
We're in that phase where we lock ourselves in a room for half a day and see what comes out.
That's awesome. Hell yeah. That's awesome. That's amazing. Well, thank you again, guys. Go ahead.
How did you hear of us? Is what I want to know.
My Instagram feed. I I created like on my in my page, I pretty much created my algorithm. Like I was looking for bands between maybe like 0 and like 15 to 20,000 followers or something, just kind of going through and you guys came up on my feed and I how it usually goes is, if I see someone that I enjoy, or the music that I enjoy, I'll, reach out to you guys, like I did, and try to talk to you guys. But yeah, I pretty much everybody that I've found um on Instagram is just that, my Instagram feed.
Yeah.
And yeah, well, yeah, that's how I found you.
That's super cool.
Yeah. Thank you for having us on the show. It's been a pleasure.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. Like I said, guys, I love just talking to musicians and artists, and I think it's like I love you guys' sound. Um it really reminds me of like when I was younger, and it brings me back, like I kind of bring it back to Evanescence, but it's kind of like it's not the same at all, but it's just like the vibe, that same vibe is there with the.
That's what it is. Maybe it's the vibe. We get compared to that, and we were talking about that earlier, and we were like, I don't get it, but like maybe it's just the vibe.
Yeah, it's not really like I don't know, I can't explain it. It's not like the sound, like you guys don't really sound like much alike. Like you guys are both like kind of more rock bands, but it's just I don't know. I don't know. I felt comfortable when like listening to you guys' music, you know what I mean? Like, and I enjoyed it. So that's pretty much, yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at, is like, if whoever wants to talk to me, I'm down to talk to them. But I go through and I find music that I enjoy, not music like I skip bands and stuff like that. Guys, if I skip your band, I'm so sorry, you know what I mean? Anybody that wants to come to me also, to like that I haven't heard their music, I'll give them a chance as well. There've been like maybe like there's been a few artists actually now that have reached out to me and said, can I go on your show? And yeah, like that's what I'm here for. I'm here to help out smaller bands, or like people with not even smaller bands, because some of these bands have been together for like 15 years or something, or like 10 years, and there's just their follow count just isn't as big. So it's pretty much, I'm just trying to share your music with everybody. And right now it's not super big, or my page isn't super big or anything, but you know hopefully in the future it does grow and grow and grow, and I can have you guys back. Like I can, like, end game for this show is I would love for you guys to come to my studio one day
That'd be awesome.
and play, like play, and then we talk about music, or we talk about whatever the fuck we want to talk about afterward, you know what I mean? That's my dream. Like kind of like Howard Stern, right? um like that's what I want to do. But I'm not as over the top as Howard Stern would be. I'm super interested in where musical creativity comes from, and just how people make music. I would love to be a part of like sit in when people are like making an album or something, or I would give like people some space to make, but that's all in the future.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. You have to say it's gonna happen, or else it's not gonna happen. You know what I mean? Um, but yeah, that's pretty much end game with this, is for you guys. I can fly you guys out, and then we have a little concert, and then we talk about it, or talk about whatever we want to talk about. So I'm really excited for that. But yeah, like I can't do this though without you guys saying yeah, and without you allowing me to share. And I don't like to just grab the music and, hey guys, here's this person's music and nobody knows about it. Or, I like to ask. It's just, I guess etiquette, right? Proper etiquette, right? You ask. So, thank you so much, guys, for allowing me to share and for coming on the show. Like it really means the world to me that you guys do this, because you don't have to. And yeah, it's more exposure. Yeah, it helps you guys, but I want the audience or the listener to have some kind of idea of, you know, the creativity or of the artists and how they came up with it, because there's been different artists where I kind of I kind of don't get their music, or like not that I don't like it as much, but like after I speak with somebody, it's kind of like I see the vision, if that makes sense, and it's allowing me to appreciate it more, definitely. So but thank you so much, you guys. Again, I can't thank you guys enough. We'll definitely have you back on, and with that, everybody, as we say at the end, remember, be safe, be great, we share because we care. Peace.
See ya.
Later.